Welcome back to the Explainer. So, you've been tasked with deploying accounting or financial software in a new market. Well, you and I both know it's never just plug and play, right? But when that market is Thailand, man, you were looking at this really unique intersection of stringent financial compliance and highly specific linguistic technicalities. So today, we're giving you the ultimate survival guide. We are looking at the Implementation Manager's Blueprint for TFRS compliance and Thai software localization. We'll be exploring everything from the big picture, top-level accounting standards, all the way down to the invisible code that actually makes your software readable. Let's jump right in.
Here's our macro to micro journey for today's review guide. We're covering 1. Thai financial reporting standards. 2. The translation time delay. 3. Fixing UI rendering issues. 4. UTF-8 encoding conversion steps. And 5. The essential software localization checklist. Let's go.
Section 1. Thai Financial Reporting Standards. Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute first thing an implementation manager has got to understand is the exact regulatory environment their software is entering. In Thailand, the financial reporting framework is actually bifurcated based on a company's public accountability. On one side, you have TFRFS for PAEs. That's publicly accountable entities. Think of your listed companies on the stock exchange, financial institutions, insurance providers. If your software targets these organizations, you are dealing with a near one-to-one adoption of the International Financial Reporting Standards, or IFRS. It is highly complex, totally rules-based, requires comprehensive financial statements, and leans heavily on fair value measurements. But contrast that with NPAEs, non-publicly accountable entities. These are your private, smaller businesses. For them, Thailand offers a much more simplified, principles-based standard specifically designed to reduce cost and complexity. You absolutely need to know which tier your client falls into because, well, that dictates the entire rule set your software has to enforce.
Section 2. The translation time delay.
So, let's look at how this builds into your project management timeline. It's basically a regulatory domino effect. Because look, knowing the standards is just step one. You actually have to know exactly when they apply. When a new international standard is released, it does not instantly become law in Thailand. No way. There's a legally required mandatory one-year delay. Every single standard has to be meticulously translated from English into Thai and go through a whole local due process. Sometimes, the local board even adds specific guidance just to address local business practices. This gives local teams the breathing room they need to adapt their financial statement prep. So practically speaking, if an IFRS standard goes live globally today, your software's compliance timeline in Thailand usually isn't going to require that update until exactly 1 year from now. You have to map this gap directly into your rollout schedule.
Section 3. Fixing UI rendering issues.
All right, now that we've covered that macro compliance level, let's zoom in a bit. Imagine this. You've got the rules right, you've got your timeline perfect, you install the software, you switch the language to Thai, and boom, the screen is an unreadable mess. Why? Well, the culprit is a linguistic characteristic of the Thai language that causes massive headaches for UI design: invisible spaces. See, when we type in English, we use spaces between words, which tells the software rendering engine exactly where it can safely wrap text to the next line. But Thai words, they are written without these internal spaces. They just form this long, continuous character string. It's literally like trying to parallel park a stretched limo into a compact spot. The software's rendering engine doesn't see a sentence, it just sees one massive, unbreakable word.
And this brilliantly illustrates the problem right here. Standard drop-down menus usually have dynamic widths. They automatically resize to fit the longest text string inside them, so that unbreakable Thai text displays just fine. But ribbon components? They operate totally differently. Ribbon buttons are designed to be compact, with hard-coded, fixed maximum widths based on shorter English words. So, when the rendering engine tries to cram that massive, unbreakable Thai string into a fixed-width ribbon button, it totally panics. It can't wrap the text, so it resorts to its default behavior. It shatters the text, chops it off, and slaps on an ellipsis. You know, those 3 little dots at the end. Actually, it's really important to note, this is not a translation error. It's a hard-coded design constraint colliding head-on with linguistic reality.
Section 4. UTF-8 encoding conversion steps.
Let's keep looking under the hood here, because beyond just truncation, you might also run into the notorious small font bug, where modern Thai fonts, like Lilawad UI, suddenly become microscopically small and completely misaligned compared to the English source. Now, the fix isn't actually in the font itself, it's in the raw data encoding. Often language files are accidentally saved in a legacy encoding, like UTF-16 or Windows 1252, and the operating system just misinterprets it. So here are the precise technical steps to fix it. Step 1, export your .dfm language file out of the software. Step 2, open that file in a raw text editor, something like Notepad++. Step 3, go to the encoding menu and explicitly use the Convert to UTF-8 feature. This gives you a clean, industry-standard Unicode file. And finally, Step 4, re-import the file back into your system. By doing this, you've given the OS the exact standardized format it expects, which allows it to correctly read the character data and apply the proper font size parameters. Boom, readability issue solved.
Section 5. Essential Software Localization Checklists.
Okay, we fixed the code, we fixed the UI, and we are coming up to the finish line here. But remember, translation is not just about literal meaning. It is absolutely crucial for professional and legal alignment. For instance, standard English acronyms like GAP or COGS, cost of goods sold, you can't just transliterate those. Accountants expect standard terminology. So the crucial point is you must map these to the officially recognized Thai accounting acronyms found in government tax documentation. If you misuse an acronym, it can actually lead to legal errors on official tax forms, and nobody wants that. Also think about menu paths in your help files. Instead of using some clunky old ASCII dash and arrow, localization standards require a specific format. You need to use single quotes and a right-facing arrow so it looks exactly like single quote, menu, right-facing arrow, submenu, single quote. It's just cleaner, it's intuitive, and it's visually standardized.
Finally, let's run through a rapid-fire QA checklist before you go live. First, preserve your dynamic placeholders. If your English file has tags like @appname or presents, they absolutely must remain perfectly intact in the Thai string. Otherwise, the software literally won't know where to insert data. Second, retain your UI shortcut characters, like the ampersand, which creates your keyboard hotkeys. Third, when translating the word setup, make sure you're using the accepted Thai term dangka. Fourth, double-check your punctuation. Translators sometimes accidentally drop square brackets around button names like OK. They have to be there. And lastly, like we talked about earlier, systematically click through every main window to check for truncated text overflowing from fixed width boundaries. Missing just a single placeholder or bracket can completely break the local user experience for sure.
And that brings us to the end of the blueprint. We've gone from navigating the macro-level compliance differences between PEEs and NPAEs, factored in that mandatory 1-year regulatory time delay, debugged those invisible spaces breaking our ribbons, converted our code to UTF-8 for perfect font scaling, and finally locked down our accounting acronyms. So I want to leave you with this final thought to reflect on. You might have the best, most robust accounting software in the entire world, but have you mastered both the compliance and the technical nuances to actually prove it? Is your software truly ready for the Thai market? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today. Grab this blueprint, double-check your code, and I will see you in the next explainer.